hello, and welcome to another session of Fixing Things Together for Liter Universe. I'm Jan Dvorak, the founder and CEO of Liter Universe, and hopefully soon I'll be joined by our designers. And if not, then I'll be doing some other work. If you have any questions, thoughts, or found something that's not working with the universe, feel free to put it into the comments, and I'll be happy to take a look on it and, if possible, fix it in this live session. So let me just do some backstage stuff, finishing things up. And every week repetition. Also, I would like to invite everybody at 6 p.m. Tonight. I will be on my personal Twitch channel, StarsLRCZ, streaming about or working on my creative writing. Specifically, I'll be working on my Struggle for Balance series, specifically with 8th Fleet, kind of getting all the text together in a text editor and then splitting it up into smaller chapters. Because the way I originally wrote it was more for NaNoWriMo, so the chapters were quite long, and that does not really fit the Liter Universe structure. And I think I will be doing these every week or something akin to that. And let me just, before we get started, we are streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. So that's where we kind of are. The biggest problem I have with Twitch is figuring out which category to go into. And I think I will actually have to... I won't be able to do it here, but maybe next time I'll prepare the stream into the web development category. I think that's available there. So let's make sure that we are live and that we have everything running. Apologies. So, fixed. Here. Okay, so that seems to be running. So are going great. And let's get then started. Not sure why the rest of the team is. Looks like they got stuck because normally at this point they're online, or maybe it's some issue on my side. Doesn't matter. That's so right now. Let's see. Last time, kind of, we did some fixes in the encyclopedia, and especially this new look and all that stuff, which I think is good. And I still have to probably finish up the buttons down there and do quite a few other things. So let's look at our Figma just to be sure. And obviously, just looking here at this stuff, I have to do a lot of other things. Okay, so let's take a look if I can think. Always have a lot of stuff here, so it's always a bit challenging for me to find. No, it's not in dashboard. It will be in the workshop if Figma lets me to look on it. And let's see. Notes. Special. Okay, these are the what we have already working just fine. Here is encyclopedia. Apologies, my mouse is a bit busted, so we have pretty much this ready. Now we just need to change a few more things. So we have to take a look. The menu is definitely wider. So let's take a look. So this is what is 528 pixels. So we'll do that. Could have Henry here so he can tell me. Okay. And there's just another problem that came up, which is in my console. Something that I have been trying to track down for a while. So sometimes, when we are going to for an issue, we might find something else that will take priority to handle. In this case, this is going to be difficult because we don't really have, sadly, the proper, let's see, publish application 23. So we have with one of our systems, let's say, an issue. That's not an issue now, but could become an issue in the future. So we have to be a bit careful here about how to approach this. And choose doc. It's undefined. A little bit a little bit of debugging. Just a little bit, because the thing is, if I leave this error to continue, and in the next version of our software, it's going to pretty much shut down the servers. So we don't want anything like that. So it's giving me some trouble. So let's start from the beginning, see if it's going to be nice or not. Let's try another. And Wikipedia, and this time it's gone. So that's the, let's say, annoyance of bugs like these, that have them there for one time and then they are gone. You don't really know where it came from because the stack trace there cell is not fully available. And guess we will have to keep it that way until we encounter it again. So back to our original, and that is to get the buttons down here in or the entire menu up to something more what we have in the Figma. So from first look, it is to widen it into the 528 pixels. That will be my initial goal. And then potentially do these buttons more akin to what is available there. Now, as with a lot of the things in Lit Universe, the issue is that a lot of things are interconnected. So if I change it here, I will also have to be careful about the impacts on other places. So let me, and in this case, the other places are here, the sidebar encyclopedia. And as you see here, we actually have already the larger version. Actually, the question is, why am I... Okay, that looks like we have another bug here, which is very unfortunate in regards to dark mode. It's not setting up correctly, so that will be another thing to dig through. Let's see, encyclopedia. We have the main view here. And then I have here mobile encyclopedia menu, which would be another thing to look into. So, and one of the other thing is that I need to move this. It's probably going to explode this entire thing given all the changes. Yeah, it's rebuilding. And let's see what's going to happen with that. And, yeah. sip of my milk tea. And yeah, of course, we have an issue with the name because I capitalized the E and it has been renamed everywhere, but it's just in this style. I'll have to reload it on my side here as well to ensure that it gets transferred everywhere. So now let me take a look on some of the stuff we are using around. Let's see the actions. So bit of restructuring in the background to kind of move away from the old style and into the new. Kind of strange. This one doesn't work as I would like it to. Let's, oh, because it's a type, not a sense. That first no longer exists. And let's see if I can just reload this and we'll be happy. Sometimes the IDE is able to take things care of, but not always. So okay, lot of usage over here. Let me check. Okay, we are back in business here. Let's see what we have. Just a matter of using the proper stuff. So we have that, display locations. One thing, one little thing, let's see. I think still a little bit of old code because this is, as you can probably imagine, one of the oldest parts of the Universe. So now then let's take a look. Encyclopedia menu. To make sure that also this main display is shown properly. So the few little details here. So here we have the height, the width. If on the tablet, then the menu is goes into 100% based on the display location. Here and here. So what should we do here? Okay, here we have width, minimum width. So that's 380 pixels. That's the current minimum width. And I think I can probably add here the let's see which option to up. So after you are on desktop, which is 1200 pixels, 528 pixels, we can jump to that's a bit that's a bit tough one. So let's see if that is going to work. So it has been updated and still nothing happened. Let's take a look. So it's still here. First of all, let's look how it will look. Okay, so even if I set it here manually, if I have set minimum width, it's going to decrease even further. And width doesn't seem to have an impact. I'm guessing that would be because of the flex over here. And so here we have the menu, how it should be here, 28. Then we have this guy, which we have height, flex grow 1, we have some padding. So it should fill by default. And it does size, but this guy is not. It only gets smaller, which is very bad for us. So if I do the minimum width, it respects that. But that's not a good solution. Minimum width should be minimum width. It should not be used instead of setting up the width. So let us think this more through. Where do we go from here? We have to hide all the other things. Well, actually, in the meantime, let me start playing some focus music from Brain. If you want me, if you want like a reference, uh, I'll just post the. Oh, no, that's a big long promo code, but if you want to, can do some adjustment. Let's put this into background mode. Okay, so minimum width works, but it's ignored altogether. Um, so what if we do flex row one? Yeah, that one ignores the width. And let's remove that. Interesting, it doesn't do anything. So height for our scroll bar. Just a little bit. Okay, here we go. Overflow Y auto is the culprit. So this for the flex growth stuff. So if I do the overflow X, so it's X and Y, X and Y. It only helps a little bit. And okay, so we have the overflow Y auto, fine overflow X. I get over the overflows altogether, then it's working, so which is strange. Minimum width still works. Ooh, that's hmm, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. A bit like this. Let's try to do this. Let's see what will be the result of those things. This is still very small for some reason. And minimum width is still 380 pixels. Okay, so this is because the element is the minimum, it's up to that width, it's that size. So actually, I need to do here is change the sizes around. And that's when we get the correct one. So let's see. This especially works nicely for the groups, which can have more levels than I have done here yet. Okay, and let's see how. Okay, that's too small. Let's see if once I go below. Okay, so once I actually go on the, it's kind of sad. So once I actually go below a certain wait for the desktop, then it becomes the other one. So I guess what I'll have to really do here is be more custom based because as you can see here on the smaller screens, it's the menu is overwhelming. So I guess in that case, we want some custom logic here for the menu size. And I'm thinking that I'm going to do media, max width, choose some nice size. Let's see, 1300 pixels. Yes, that's better. And above 1300, still not. What, 1480 maybe? Or maybe 16 up. That's still good. Yeah, I think 1500 is one is a bit more reasonable to have smaller menu. And above that, we'll get the larger one because then the ratio is getting better. Okay, so though not in the best way, we have this fixed, and now I want to take a look more on these buttons down here to how to handle them. So maybe some display logic here, something that we could possibly put into the translation files, which is appropriate, especially since we haven't given our translators some work lately. So let's put that in. Let's see the controls area. So Right. Wow. Time changes are affecting me more than I want to admit. So let's make this, and that will be completely, I say it's different thing altogether to test in the future is how we look on screens and all that stuff. That's another part that I really have to look into. I can turn this off. And how we have it here code-wise is it's pretty much a menu. And designers envision that we'll have the search on top. Just definitely worth. Ooh, and I just realized. What does the search do here? Realized. Hmm. Limit is like undo or does it on enter code search results? I think that's a very important question because what we are kind of looking for here are, or like there are two different options for search. Because one, we can limit of what just displays here in the menu to what we are looking for in the search, which is possible. And one is that once you type in your search term, you hit enter, it goes to the search page. And there are quite a few impacts on that as well. I have to we have a demo option here for this or not? That's my question. No, we don't have that. So I'll have to get that from you guys. Yeah, it looks like there's some sort of an outage probably for those guys. Interesting. But yeah, let's go back here to the code. Hmm. So now then, how do we handle these things? Search is because some of the things you are going to see only if you are the owner, one of if you are a visitor, and kind of goes through that. And there are actually some buttons that we don't see here, which were for apologies, translations as well. So and a lot of little things here and here. So we have right now it's a link item. And for example, definitely for the dark mode, that's something we could put into a button. try to put it here. Button. Highlight is going to be secondary. Click thing. Here. So that would be the hmm. Yeah, of course, then we'll add some flags and other things to position it here as well. Probably add some ID for our future suite and also for other things. I think I like that. Right here, with the search up there. Um, Actually, right now only the dark mode really makes sense, or like the toggle to be a button, just because of the functionality and everything. The rest, since the rest is like just links, like search, clicking to a new page, search by itself could be significantly improved, especially here with the limits and all that stuff. I think I don't want to move things buttons until we have our stuff on that. And looking through this, let me actually take a look on search. How do we have search working? Okay, so that's the old style. Ah, yeah, that is. Oh, it works, but on a larger data set. Mm, on a larger data set, I don't think I want to use that. Plus, there's a lot of what you call redundancy. And let's see, yes, this can be redone and improved. And I think now is the proper day. Mhm. Yes. Just kind of to give you everybody watching and watching later history about Encyclopedia. Encyclopedia is one of the oldest parts of the code because that's kind of where we got started. Uh, so that's why we have a lot of the, when I select, oh, this is old code. In a way, it kind of takes me back to simpler times where I don't have to worry about a lot of these things. So here we have, oh my, that's interesting. Mhm. Yeah, this is yeah, this is definitely, I think, worth the effort to change this because yeah, it's needlessly using a lot of resources that it shouldn't. It's not necessary to have it. I just want to make one more thing. And while we are at it, um, let's, or like the most uh, most, how should I say, big one is here. Okay, Henry is joining us, so let me kill the music and have Henry join us. And hi, Henry.
Hello.
Glad you could make
Hi,
it.
how are you?
I'm just looking here at the search in Encyclopedia, looking at the code, thinking it will need a lot of rework, or I pretty much, I definitely have to rework it because it's using, I would say, code from simpler times, which
Yep.
is very now demanding.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was looking, also, we'll need to think a little bit more about the buttons. I also added here one note about the search as I was looking at it.
Yes.
We'll need to think a little bit more about the buttons. I'll explain that probably in some other time. And I'm just now wondering if we have the uh, dedicated page for how search should look, which I don't see here in Figma. So
Yes.
um, do we have that page or
Pardon me. Apologies. Yeah.
uh,
For what?
for encyclopedia search? Because right now it's like a dedicated page, and it's actually
Okay.
not
Let me
part
check.
of the question I asked you to Jasper. In that regard, is what does the how exactly does the search function here in the menu? If it goes to a dedicated page or if it just changes uh, what is displayed in the menu. So, for example, if I start typing in the search, it will then start limiting what
Oh,
I see here.
yes.
Or
It was not meant for the dedicated page.
mhm.
It just for, uh, like what you previous said. So it was not for, great for dedicated.
Okay. I think we will need a dedicated page still
Oh, of course. Okay.
because of, let's see, for like more expanding filtering criteria. So for example, what I was thinking here, I would like to have here then the option to select that only search in characters for what I'm searching for, and then in the future we can have more search options available as we improve our technology here. And by the way, I've also, as you may notice, changed the width of the side menu.
Yes.
And I've made it that once you go below, I think, was it? No, we have the, once it goes to desktop, and why did it stop working? Yes, it's no longer working. It's infuriating. Menu, why is my Qt menu, which I prepared, not working again? Editor, reader. It's not just because if I pick a looking at like 528, and if I go below 1500, yes. Wait. Oh no, min width. No, that's correct. It should be 380. Yeah, min width 380. So is it 380 or no? It's still 500. So why is that not suddenly responding? Let me put it back here at the end where it was originally. Now it's past it here. It only, damn it, this is so infuriating. It only changes a little bit, 519, and there's absolutely zero reason for that. Because at the end of the day, that is the only freaking change I've made here. Because the thing is, once you get, small like this, the menu starts getting too much of the space. Let's see if I do max width. And I have not been, maybe if I do just the width, let's see. I do it like that because that is annoying. That should not be happening. So here we have the big menu, and here we have the small menu. Not exactly sure why it's doing what it's doing, but at least that is now fixed. I'll have to look more into it. And now I just want to really quickly check for the encyclopedia stuff. search and oh yeah, let's look at that. Let's see if I can. I can find here. It's okay. So we already have some sort of a search. We could say from, or used to have. Let's see if we have here search connection select and both encyclopedia and the writer, but we want to do it more. So let's add here. Do encyclopedia search. Oh, damn it. Which will have the query, which will have limit to categories, which is an optional list of IDs. So we have that going, so that will be another thing to put into. Save that, and let me quickly do the server function for that. Which is very similar to what we already have over here. So just categories and do here the types. So let's maybe string and let's make the number. Why don't you like that? Okay, now it likes it. So the idea here is to do, okay, I have to check here. Just in case, check brace. Because what's happening here, we are using kind of the old system, as I said, from Happier Times subscription. The problem is that as good as it is, and it's very nice, it's not really, how should I call it, performant anymore. So, or like especially once we get into the large universes where it has to search through many things. So one has to be, we have to be very selective of where we use it. Otherwise, our servers are going to die once we have a bit more people. So I think I'm almost, well, at least with the initial thing, because it's very similar to the have, and I just need to do a to-do here, to-do for limiting to categories, limit, and I am also going to add here sort. Because sorting things is so going to help us in the speed part. Here, just one more place, and let's sort. So with that, in theory, Encyclopedia search is ready on the server, and I can start fixing it here, so you will start seeing errors and all that fun stuff. So first, the search over here. Part of it is because also it's constantly reloading, a lot of stuff. For example, what's doing here, it really doesn't matter, but it's kind of trying to get again all of the data, all of the items in the encyclopedia, and then from that we are doing search locally. So in a way it's smart because we already have that here, but then the problem is if we want to kind of put this page independent of everything else, then we don't have that. Ooh. Simpler times in many aspects where it needs to kind of do two subscription, one to get the categories, one to get all the data again. So we really do not want that running here, because but at the same time that's the thing, and this is kind of good example for I think, Henry, for you and Jasper and pretty much any developers and designers to kind of consider these things about the data. And now I'm rethinking my decision to move this towards GraphQL search, because we already have the data loaded. But then the question is, in the future, because right now, for example, for the encyclopedia, we load it through the same mechanisms like we do the search, which is through MongoDB and Minimongo. But in the future, for the encyclopedia, I can foresee that we are going to split it into for the writers, it's going to be real time. That's where the MongoDB and Minimongo comes in. And GraphQL, which is on-demand data. So only get it at that one time. There is like no updates unless you take some actions, which we'll have to do for the encyclopedia log, because there's a lot of data there, and especially for the bigger ones, the more data we have, the slower it's going to get.
Okay.
No, and yeah, so we'll definitely will be moving to GraphQL, at least as I said, for the for the readers, which will make this not working. So we definitely have to move this towards GraphQL.
I'm particularly about a little bit blind or about this, but what's the difference about the GraphQL and what you were mentioned about the SQL?
Yes.
Is
So
there any kind of differences?
yes. So we have here we have two systems how to get data. The original Meteor one is through what's called subscriptions. And what it does, we subscribe, and on the server, the subscriptions, or in this case, it's called publication, to which we are subscribing, sends gets the data and sends it out to our client. And on the client, it then gets populated in our local database, like on the client called Minimongo, which we can do the same database operations like we can on the server, but it's just a subset of the total data. And the beauty of this is that whenever something changes in the data that we are subscribed to, the server will recognize that and send us the new data. So, for example, in our messaging, and for some reason I don't have any here. If I started here, now it's actually good that we are testing this, because you see it was for a little bit broken there, but it worked. So what happening is here, I don't have to do let's say any strange, or I don't have to add a lot of code about how often to ask the server for new data or anything like that, because whenever I do some, or like whenever there's some change, it will let me know. Whether you can see there has been a little bit of a pause there, like when the screen went black for a while, so that will be something we'll have to fix at one point. But if we go, let's go to the live version and kind of showcase. So Henry, if you log in, I'm going to send you a message once this loads, which is another downside. So we have a lot of things. So is your username Henrique, or was it?
Yes, that's me.
Yeah, okay. So let's do this here in the live version. Hello there. There's some issue in the back, so I'll have to look into that. So now you should have got a message, and if you send me something back.
Strange. My access is blocked. I don't know why. This app request is invalid. I try to log in with the Google. Perhaps I need to screenshot and share you with these issues.
Yeah. Are you trying to?
Hold on. I will send to you. It's quite strange. It never happened before. Okay.
Are you trying to maybe log through Google or something?
Yeah, I was usually doing that for login with Google.
Redacuary mismatch. Let me check Google. Google.com.
Let me try into my other account.
I always have issues with Google dashboard not being no, I need console.google.com. I'll have to look. Are you on the www.literaryuniverse.com or just literaryuniverse.com?
I'm using www.
Right.
I will try to not using the www. Let me check.
Oh no, that should be fine because there should be no Google console.
I try to log in again with my Webtoon account.
Yeah, let's see, because it's been a while since I set this up. API services, Literary Universe, boom. Google Plus API, no, we want out. And there should be maybe it's over here. Okay, let me try to add here. Origin, and also I need to over here, and we have actually a few more new websites. So while I'm at it, I'll try to add them here as well.
Ian, I try also login with my Webtoon account, but it does the same. I cannot log in with the Googles.
Let's see, just finish here updating the scan.
I see. So I understand.
I'll try to get these things up to date. And but that shouldn't be. Let's see if there's like any other warning because Google has enabled API. We have only the. Yeah, we don't care about any of that. The only thing we really care about. Oh, okay, so for like 2 years, we are still like here verification in progress. And they never got back to me. So,
But when I try to log in with my Webdot account, I'm trying to enter my email with Gmail, not directly into the login with the Google, but everything is fine actually. So
yeah,
I just put
this
my
is
email.
yeah. Well, you can try, and this is locals in production. If you go to in your settings and under account settings, you have the kind with your account resources. Make sure that your Google account is here.
I see.
For example, I don't have it here like for testing or anything like that. Yeah, that one is connected. Google is a bit annoying. It's not, as you have seen now, it's like almost 5 years since, and I'm still waiting for email from their trust and safety. So that's that. But in general, and I would recommend this kind of as a general thing, do not use third-party signings for security reasons, because, for example, if that account is compromised, suddenly the attacker has access to all your accounts everywhere else. At least it shouldn't be your only authentication. You should have also, if you have to use it like this, then you should enable the two-factor authentication as well, just to make sure on those that you have additional security. Because again, if any of these accounts get compromised, then they can just go to any of the other services that you use with those accounts, log in, and just keep on damaging you more and more. So that's why you should have almost email password, or if that's not an option, use two-factor authentication.
I see. Okay, thank you. Roger that. Yeah.
So back here to the example. So yeah, I don't have to update the website or anything like that. Once you send me a response, then it immediately appears on your site.
I received it immediately.
And with me, I don't have to do any crazy logic here. I just subscribe to the data on the server, and then just do here a display of things. And I don't have to do, okay, how often do I, ask the server to fetch the new information and all the other crazy logic that doesn't happen. So that's the benefit of this. But as you can imagine, it takes a lot of resources. So that is
I see.
That is something to really careful here. And I also notice here that we are missing here a title for the page. So if not anything, that's something I need to rectify. And I'll have to actually, let's see, let me think. I'll have to be very careful here, because if I add it here too carelessly, then it might be a problem. Because of the display. So because again, we are displaying this elsewhere as well, so we have to be, what's the issue? Oops, yeah, forgot to put in title. Because we are displaying this also in the sidebar of the stories, so that needs to be counted for. Still says access denied, but hopefully after I refresh. Oh no, it doesn't like that I have not started working here on my query. Search, let's see. And just three things. So many things to do. Schema. And just a moment, I'm just clear the code so it does no longer line. Category from that. That should hopefully fix it. Nope, doesn't like it yet. Come on. Plus, it's not like this code is used. Come on. Yes, here we go, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Looks good so far. So it's also kind of downside of the other methods with GraphQL is that there's a lot of extra code that I just once you can let's see, we want to use here lazy query, which I have to look a little bit up because wait, I'm sure I have used this before in our code base. Don't tell me I have not. As for reference, GraphQL use lazy query. And it's this one that I am using here. Because what I want to use here is search, because then I can query. I'll prepare some variables. This idea is pretty simple to do. Let's do limit at 30, which is kind of the default. Then we do the query, and then we have limit to categories, which we can right now skip. Query is, and we use the query option. And set the query. Now that's a now, and the big question then is always as well, when should it, do a search or anything like that? Which right now it's going to have errors as well. The issue is, oh, actually, I can. I will have to do here. Set query and search options variables. Query questions if we can be actually able to do it, because then it's like for developers, then the big question is, okay, when should we do the search? Is it once the user hits enter? Is it after once they start typing at certain number of characters? All that stuff is has its own implication. In this case, Henry, I think design-wise, looking at this, since we don't have like any go or enter button, it's,
Yes.
I think, reasonable to assume that it should be once the key is up.
Yes.
So whenever they type something, it should run through the necessary thing. Let me just make some adjustments here. That it just does it like that. Handle search, and it does here, like in this example, it loads a greeting once you click something. So I am going to do here click there to see if we actually get the same data. Let me double check on the server what I'm actually using to search for this thing. Selector is name universe, that it actually exists. So it's a reject. So that's like another issue which we'll solve once we have a lot more people using Glitter Universe, because once we get to a certain size, we can then use better search from MongoDB as compared to the limited one that we have right now, which also eats a lot of resources. Oh, apologies.
No worries.
So, big question here also is the where should we put this? And that's just a little implementation. And I'm looking at this, and I will probably have to do a little bit more of, because right now it's two components. One is kind of the search and one is the display of the results. And I would probably have to put a one more in between that will just be getting the data. But I think right now for what we have here, let's see, we have two. Let's see if we get we have two here as well. This time, though, the order is different because if I look at yes, I'm sorting it by alphabetically. So that's like another potential filter that we can do here, so sorting things up. So at least, and if we look here, then there is the category, which is characters title. Let me see what I need. Maybe it's not title, but name. Based on that, will then the icon be displayed? Category, name, character. So I think it's the name that I need for the icon. So for the search results, let's take a quick look. It's the category object. Yes, so I have the name there, which is the one that it uses to. It actually uses both name and title for the defaults. So it's just little thing. So I can probably replace name, title. Probably replace the existing search results, make them simpler without any of the stink, no query, categories, and just results. Which is a encyclopedia. And that I also saw there was some characters, security thing that we were missing. Let me put that as well. Yes. Categories are away. Instead of a query, we have here results, which will be data and then search. So let's see if so it's of course results can be undefined, so that's a bit of a problem. Instead of category objects, which we don't need. Item.category.
Yeah, I want to ask about the search function because we are using this for like it's for encyclopedia, but we also have the search function. It will be applied on the blogs also. But the difference is the data that we will display. That's like the title of the stories, the author. I'm thinking about the component that we will use. Is it we have using different components?
Yes, it will be completely different when it comes to the components. And that is primarily, let me just quickly remove here all these subscriptions things, which that will be for another time. Oops. It will be completely different, as you mentioned, from the difference in what we are actually searching for, the actual implementation of different of the search itself. So there is a lot of little things here and there that just make it completely different. And so you don't have to kind of base one thing onto the other necessarily, even though if we kind of have a same general design pattern, then that would, I think, work very well. Let me just add here language, because that's a should probably add here. And this is it. So I have just check. And it's optional, as I am also going to get the from universe language. Universal language. And actually, I have to double check here how that works with the encyclopedia entries. Because of translations, that's quite a thing. So I will have to really figure this one out, because it's not as simple. It's like another complication we have, and that's something that you should kind of always think a little bit about, Henry, is the different languages and how that is going to be, how do we switch between them, and it's so that it's ready for that. And now I'll just have to do here because and for example here, what I will have to do is when searching for the entry, I will have to then, if there's like a specific language, I will have to then look if that entry exists in that language. And if yes, then I will have to, first of all, I will have to also expand the search to include the different languages. So if you are, if you have an entry that has a different name in different languages, and if you are searching in the other language, then you probably want to get that entry, or like search the entry here by the language you have selected instead of the default language
Mhm.
for the universe. So that one is going to get annoying to make to ensure that that one is correct, because right now we're just searching by the default language, which for now, because we don't have that many universes that have translations, is not a big problem. It is, though, a problem going into the future, because this will especially impact large story universes that have all those translations and everything else. So that's quite a few more things to think about, and that always complicates things and slows us down a lot in development, as we have to check all these things out. Cool. And let's see. I think for now, I'll leave it here. I will come back to this to just make some little technical improvements.
Yes.
That I mentioned before, so that it's more effective, which is just one little component where the actual data fetching happens. So a little bit separation of concerns here and there, not a big deal. We have still a little bit of time before we go. Let me check everything. So it looks good. Is there some specific thing that we would like to address, Henry, or
Yes.
take a look?
Yes, actually, when I realized that our login page before people are come to into the login, I mean in the home before user take a login page, in the light mode, the login button are white also with the text. So I think that's kind of problem.
Okay, let me
Yes, in this page.
see. First of all, I need to change appearance from dark to light. My browser.
Yes.
Okay, I see what you are saying. That's quite a big one, and okay, this one is, and we probably want this text, once it's highlighted, also white, correct?
Yes.
So let's get started with. I hate white theme. It's too much into the eyes, especially on like all day long. So let's take a look on this, and where are we going to have this? So let's see, homepage, or actually no, this one on the top. That one is navigation, and it is the, let's see, I have to figure out which one. So with the user section, maybe? Yes, if no user, here we go. It's something we have here called the outline button. And to So let's see. First of all, what I see here is some things that should be using global constants. Let me open up the light, and we do have the different border radius, and we want border radius. So, okay, so that's the one. Now then, it uses the button link by default. It sets the color and the border to always be white. Of course, at least until it hovers. What if I remove the color here? What's going to happen? Is that fine?
I think so far for now, I think it's much better than previous one. So I think it's still fine for me.
Sounds good. And now we have. Let me go to the home page, and this will be the. Let's see, tab. That's the button tab menu. Okay, tab menu. Let's see how do we have things here. So it uses the color background texts properly, almost. You could say, but when it's area selected, it switches to the. Let's see. It's kind of the same thing here. So it goes to this color, and that should be the. Area selected. So. Let's see, it's the primary text. So maybe it's in the shared palette, primary text. That should all be. Background text is primary text 0, which is white. It is not getting overwritten apparently, which is strange. So then we have this span over here. This doesn't look. Nope, nope, nope. It's which one? Area selected, true. Oh, that might be because it is no longer area. No, area selected true is here as well. And for the tab menu, So that should be fine. And then it's the, let me try under the, wait a moment. Last child. How was this? Let's see, I need to figure out exactly which one is the, that this, okay. See here? This is what I'm looking at. I think we have the background color, yes, color and margin. All of which is considered important, but for some reason, then there is here the first child area selected through, because since it's lower and it's a cascading style sheet, if you remember what I told you, it takes precedence over the one that's above.
Okay.
And so just so let's see if I can maybe, so there's a background color here, background color, all that stuff. I think maybe if I, let me try to move a few things around just to make sure. Those things work. Wow. That is not what I expected. But the result is the same that we were looking for. So this is kind of the meme, the code doesn't work, I don't know why. And then I start thinking, the code works, I don't know why.
Well, when it works well.
Yeah, so that one somehow works. I think maybe because the overwriting now is working. I think there might be needlessly too much CSS here. Let me see if I can get rid of these two things, if it's going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
And
I see.
it's still the same. Yes. Let's to be doubly sure. Let's do a quick reload. Yes, it's still the same what we want. So that's, unless I'm missing here something crazy. Actually, even like this entire thing, because we have the margin important 0 later on, fine. Let's see if this thing, if I just remove this and save us some headaches. It still works, so let's change this to dark. And we are happy here as well.
That goes well.
Well, perfect. Yeah, we just saved a few bytes on the bundle size by simplifying this code. And that's kind of like one of the big things into the future is to go and simplify some of the CSS and stuff like that to make it leaner and everything. So I think that looks good. Any other quick things that we can do?
I think so far so good right now, Jan.
Awesome. Yeah, so we have like 2 minutes till the end of the time, and I can close this. So I still have to finish the encyclopedia thing, search improvement. Stories, encyclopedia. Search here. Going to make that happen. And yeah, that looks. Yeah, I will have that probably before I begin my next stream at 6 p.m. Serbian Standard Time, 2 hours from now,
Yes.
which will be me, but I'll be doing creative work. I'll be changing, if we go back to my workshop stories here with the 8th Fleet, I will be kind of adjusting all these chapters to more manageable sizes because right now they are big. By the way, Henry, if you notice, I have made some adjustments here
Yes.
with showing, how many chapters and also direction. So if you have above, I think I put like 5 chapters, it switches the sort order instance. So instead of from beginning to from latest by default.
Yes.
So you have the latest one up here, as you can see that.
Mhm.
And now you have also this show more chapters, show all chapters. And again, that's so if you have a lot of chapters, so it doesn't load everything, like unless you want it to.
Mhm.
And that's primarily also so that this page loads faster as well. And I will be also, and I'll hopefully maybe find one of the issues is that what I have here is that if I start kind of working and switching between these two screens, strange things starts happening, and I will have to figure out what exactly that is. So something happened here as well. Yeah, I could see the text was there and everything, but for some reason it did not display. So once you start really going fast between these two, yeah, there's like another big error here. Oh no, that's the previous one. So then strange things can start happening. I will be investigating that as well while doing my stories. But let me just quickly look up the line here before we go to 3.2. That's quite at the beginning. That doesn't look correct. So it's because that's a save and that should not, yeah. So that doesn't look good. So the issue here is that there's a lot of safeguards to make sure that you don't, if something happens to the browser, you don't lose the text. So we will have to do a big revision. And also, well, I see here that this guy is not highlighted. Yeah, this is not I don't think this has been completely finished once I actually did this transition. So that's another thing I will have to kind of work on. The rest is working as intended, and we'll probably have to do an animation here in the future as it goes in and out. Especially we'll have to get rid of the flickering there as the entire thing disappears. That's just not nice.
Yes.
So I will be doing that, but primarily it will be focused on this story, getting into smaller sizes. So that will be in 2 hours on my personal Twitch, Storyteller CZ. Henry, do you want to shout out something, some of your social media or anything like that you want people to go to?
Well, I don't play social media actually, but perhaps I could use this for my comic. I will make a promotion for Literary Universe. So that's that's why the account is what it intended to promote the Literary Universe things for Indonesian people. Yeah, I will do that.
Yeah, so we can start preparing for next week, and I think we can kind of unveil that we are planning to kind of add web comics to Literary Universe as well. Right now it's like very early stages, and that kind of goes back to our general idea that all in one platform. So we will see here, hopefully before the end of the year, we'll have ebooks included in this as well, and webcomics. And so, for example, if it's like one story, you will have, say the original story text, you would then have the webcomics connected to it, and the audiobooks, all integrated into one, so you don't have to create, in this case, like 3 different types of stories, so that if you have like on your author's page, you wouldn't, it would then, if it wasn't integrated, it would then be like, the story text, then next to it you would have the audiobook, and then you had the web comics, and it would be like 3 different things, even though it's actually one. So in here, it will be all integrated and kind of into one, and then the reader will be able to choose what they want or switch between them, for example, if it's all free and all that stuff. So a lot of stuff happening right now besides these little fixes and improvements here and there. I am focusing on building fan clubs, which is really, it's quite difficult because of all the integrations and all the other things, and I want to make sure that from there on we can go further. So it's taking quite a bit longer than expected, but hopefully we can manage to get it. So that's it for the updates. Thank you, everybody watching. If you have any questions, feel free to still put them into comments. And if you can manage to do that, like in the next 60 seconds, you might still be able to answer it. You can find us on pretty much all the social media as Literary Universe or LitUni app. Of course, literaryuniverse.com. That's what we are working here on. And I think that's pretty much it for today. We'll be back next week. We're kind of trying to work and develop things more in the open, partially because it's easier for us that way than trying to do some, fancy newsletter and all that stuff that in the end nobody reads. And this one, I think, can also allow people to be more involved with the platform as well. So as long as we can manage this, we'll try to do these, and we'll also have one more podcast coming up with, which will be monthly, but more on that later once we actually have more information or specifically a date to get started ready. So yeah, again, I'm Jan Dvořák, founder of Literary Universe. You can find me on social media as Storyteller or Storyteller CZ, most likely Storyteller CZ. And with me was Henry, our head of UI design. So anything else, Henry, you want to add?
Nothing. So far, so good.
Okay, thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.